Hi everyone, it's MJ from Floractive.
And this is Sarah, the Active NANOPLASTY hair technician.
And we are the NANOPLASTY Podcast. We have here today Jo Cowan. I'm pronouncing it right?
Cowan.
Cowan, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My name is MJ, that's why it's a shortened for Marjorie.
Ah,
Yes.
I always wondered. There you go.
Yeah. Now
Well,
you know.
mine's shortened from Joanne.
Ah,
but
okay.
Nobody calls me Joanne.
I know.
It's too serious.
When someone calls you, you get like, ooh, who is that? What did I
I
done?
know I'm in trouble.
When you get the Joanne.
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 Yes, it's very, very formal. But my sister calls me Jody, which I love, but no one else does. So,
Oh, that's
there you
cute.
go.
That's
Yeah.
great. So I've got Jo here today. You are a piece that it's very important on this hair industry. And I am so honored to have you here on our podcast today. We're going to talk about so many subjects. But before everything, Jo, I would love to know a little bit more about you as a person. We would love to know a little bit more about your journey as a hairdresser and how you fell in love with this industry.
Look, I started as a Saturday morning shampoo girl. So I was looking for a part-time job, being in high school, and my mum used to go to a salon, and I thought I could shampoo. I'm sure I could shampoo. Yeah. So I was really lucky that the salon that I went to for work, they would employ me during school holidays as well as sort of on Saturdays and things like that. And then I got to kind of year 12 at school, and my parents said to me, well, what do you want to be? And I want to be a hairdresser. But I have an absolute love of sport, and I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. And lucky for me, my marks were not good enough. And I got through HSC by the skin of my teeth. But I decided to go and do hairdressing. And it was the best decision of my life because I worked in a salon that was that empowered us with training. And my boss made sure that I started a clientele really, really quickly. So I think within 6 months of being someone who used to just shampoo, I was applying colour. And then one Friday, I'll never forget it, he said, you've got a column today. I went, a column? Does that mean I get my own clients? And
wow.
All of a sudden there I was cutting, and I never stopped. So I was very fortunate in this salon that we would have a lot of, as I said, a lot of training and things like that. And my boss decided that he could shorten my life as an apprentice. So I only did 2.5 years, which during the time when I was doing apprenticeships, it was a minimum of 3 to 4 years.
That's right.
But also during that training, we used to do everything from, we learned how to weave wigs. We also did waving, like finger waving. I have to think about
Which
what I
was
used
really
to do.
big back then.
It was
I
really
remember,
big
yeah.
back then. And we did beauty as well. So we learned how to do facial massage. We used to also do hand massage. And so when you got qualified as a hairdresser, and I did this training in Melbourne, you are really a fully rounded hairdresser in the full sense, in that you could do everything. And then I started to do a barbering course because I thought, well, I need to do some barbering as well. So I did a bit of barbering, but my passion to travel kind of cut my barbering training short. And I went overseas for 6 months. And during that time, I did a 3-week course at Sassoon's. And that was when Sassoon's was really bringing precision cutting to the forefront. And so I did that course. I went to Paris. I did a course with L'Oreal on colouring. I did some other courses in London. And then I just literally travelled for 6 months, complete free agent, went all over Europe, went to America, came home and went, oh, okay, I've got to now put these skills to life.
Work,
So I got myself a job in a salon called Joseph of Italy in Glen Iris in Melbourne. And at that time, nobody was really doing precision cutting. So I kind of got a clientele really fast because they advertised the fact that, I could do this. And so my kind of career evolved from there. And then I got a phone call from my ex-boss who was working for Redken. and he decided to set up a salon in Sydney and it was a Trico, oh my goodness, Trico, I can't even think of the name of the salon. Anyway, it was in the heart of Sydney, and he said, look, I think there's a job for you to become a technician. So I became the Victorian technician, and for a couple of years created education programs and did training all over Victoria and Tasmania, really empowering hairdressers to see the difference that you could see with a different range of products, and teaching them about hair structure, and about different perming techniques. We did all sorts of different things. At that stage, Redken never had colour. They didn't have any colour at all.
Oh, wow.
So it was very, very early days, and our products did everything that they shouldn't do. They smelt, they didn't foam, they, when you used the treatment, it was all crusty, but that was the protein, we told people. And we did all sorts of different trainings. But at the end of a couple of years, they said, we want you in a national role. So I moved out of Melbourne to Sydney and became the National Education Manager for Redken.
Wow.
Now, during these times, Redken was owned by Paula Kent-Meehan. It was based in Los Angeles, and so I would get to go to LA quite regularly.
That's beautiful.
I was very fortunate. They used to have big symposiums, so I'd get to do that and take hairdressers to that. And I did one tour which was amazing. We actually took a group of hairdressers to Los Angeles, and then we took them to San Francisco. Then we took them to Tokyo and brought them back to Australia.
Wow.
That was a pretty amazing trip.
Training them all.
Training them in everything to do with Redken, and exposing them to different salons, and particularly in Japan at that time, because I'm old, right? I'm not really young, but I'm talking about sort of like in the 80s, where Japan was sort of not necessarily as recognised for what it did with hair and everything else. And so it was a complete education tour. So that was very exciting. But
that's a massive impact on the whole industry, Jo. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was very exciting. And then the national sales manager left, and they said, how about you become national sales manager? I'm like, I don't know how to sell. They said, what do you think you've been doing your whole life? You've been selling because you've been selling as a hairdresser, retail, and every time you demonstrate products, you're actually selling. So I became the national sales manager, and it was like, oh, this is a bit scary. And then I decided I needed to make a change. So
was the same time you were having kids and all that?
No, it wasn't. It was a point at which Redken was changing. So they had a general manager in the business who I didn't love, and I thought, I want to be a part of a team that sort of empowers me and makes me feel excited. So I decided I would leave, and I left, and there was a job at a wholesaling company that sold Redken. So I thought, well, this is a perfect fit. Don't have to learn any products.
Exactly, I already know.
Yeah, so I got a sales team, and we just looked after New South Wales, and they were the naughtiest sales team I've ever met. These guys were so much fun, and they would, I knew they used to take time off, and I said to them, so long as you make your sales, I don't mind what you do. But they kept me very much on our toes. Then what did...
How many people you were managing during this time?
I think we had 8 sales guys on the road. Wow. So it was a big wholesaling business. So we were one of the main wholesalers for Redken.
Yeah.
And we also, we sold everything, Wella, L'Oreal, Schwarzkopf. We sold everything, brushes, combs, whatever. But then Redken decided they would set up their own distribution business in Australia. So they bought all the wholesale businesses. So I got bought as part of this business, ended up back at Redken for only a very short period of time.
Wow.
They made me education manager again. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So
you taste the sales part and you're like,
I need to do this. So I got offered a job through Wella to run a brand called Cadis. And Cadis is not in Australia anymore, but Cadis was like a mini Weller.
Yep.
So, but it had a beautiful history, and so I ran that business for about 12 months. And then at the time, Weller bought Delver
Yes.
from Reckitt and Coleman. So Delver and Cadis got put together. So I then developed a huge sales team. And at that point, I was national sales and marketing manager. So I'd morphed into marketing. And then I decided that was kind of, no, that's right. Then I went into Weller. So the managing director of Weller was very much like a lot of organisations. They train people to progress in roles. So you start off in one role and then they go, no, we'd like you to go over here for a while. So get that experience.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot in big corporations right now, particularly within someone like the L'Oreal Group. They tend to move their people around quite a lot for experience. So I got moved into Weller, and my first role in Weller was part of the pharmacy supermarket division. So I actually learnt the other side of the hair world. So I think as hairdressers, we always saw, and we still probably do, see pharmacy and supermarket as like, you know, the big competition.
Yes.
But it actually isn't, because these people only know this much. And when you go into a pharmacy, you might get some advice, but when you go to a supermarket, it's just there on the shelf.
Exactly.
And so I learned all about that side of the business, and then got a role within Weller as the marketing manager. And I stayed there for a while, but they decided to make some global changes, and so I didn't like that. So I went, right, I'm out of here, and I'm going to set up my own business.
Oh,
So
wow.
I set up my own business, and during that time, I had my child, my beautiful Nicola, who's now 30, and so as my own business, I set myself up as a sales and marketing specialist, and I also took on teaching, so lecturing at uni, because during that period of time, I had actually got a master's in marketing. So I never got a degree, but I got a master's. So I got that. And that set up a training side of my business, which for a period of time I wasn't doing much in the hair industry. I actually worked in the printing industry. So I learned a lot about printing. And
Oh, that's amazing. Where did
yeah.
you work on printing?
oh, well, I was a consultant to
Wow.
this printing organisation that no longer exists in Frenchs Forest, just around the corner from where I
I worked
live.
for Fuji Xerox.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For a couple of years when I
Yeah.
arrived in Australia.
Yeah, it's a very different world,
is.
and it's very much based on price.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned all about printing machines and mailing, because it was a print and mailing business.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned all about that, and I was just training their sales guys. And I actually went out to help the sales guys sell, which was fascinating.
That's amazing.
And during that time, I also did some consultancy work within the beauty industry for a company called International Beauty Supplies, which is still going really well.
Yes.
And so my life was diversifying quite a lot.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and then I got a job at De Lorenzo.
yes,
Oh,
you
wow.
Did.
Yeah.
Yes, you
So
did,
I
yeah.
do have a quite a history.
Yeah.
So I worked at De Lorenzo for about 6 months, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. To be in a family business where you were in control of creating products was something that I'd never had experience in before. So when you worked in within Weller, you know, everything was, you could create it, but there was a lot of restrictions.
Yes.
But when you worked at Delver, it was like, well, what do we want to do?
Yes.
Do we want new colour? Do we want new packaging? So I was very involved in launching all sorts of different products.
Because they
there.
did have
great.
they did have quite a lot of changes. Because when I started hairdressing, it was
Yeah.
De Lorenzo.
De Lorenzo,
Oh, De
yeah.
Lorenzo. On the-
it was
on the peak.
it was one of
Yeah.
the biggest brand that we used in
Yes.
tapes and
That's amazing.
And it's a beautiful product.
It is.
And you know, when Vincent and his brother Anton set his business up, they set it up with a passion, and then they brought the family in. So I was fortunate to work with Vincent and Anton, but Anton passed away within about 6 weeks of me starting. So
No
that was
way.
that was very tragic for the family, because he was the head chemist, and that was really sad. But it also empowered the current directors of Di Lorenzo to have to step up further.
Yeah.
And of course, Vincent was there, and I worked with him. And after a few months, it's about 6 months, I think, I decided that I really needed to spread my wings again. I'm not someone that really jumped a lot of jobs, but you always know whether you the right fit. And
Exactly.
I felt like I was the right fit, but Vincent had very, very strong ideas. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to spread my wings again. So I spread my wings again and ended up at InStyle. So InStyle, when I joined it, was originally owned by a gentleman called Dennis Duggan. And he had...
Is that InStyle? They are global, right?
No. So InStyle started by a Canadian hairdresser called Merville McGee. Merville came to Australia, and I used to buy advertising off Merville. And so Merville decided to sell the business to Dennis. Merville unfortunately passed away. And so Dennis ran this amazing business. And at that time, there was no other hairdressing magazine. So during that time, we had the creation, just trying to think now, of the magazine that no longer exists. Anthony and Susan Wynne Holscher owned it, but I can't think of the name, it's gone. And there was no mocker group at the time, so we had the whole market. So that was pretty huge.
Everything here was in there.
Yeah, everything.
But there is still no many magazines in Australia, right? I think there is only 2 or 3 main.
Now there's 2. So there was 3. The Journal only produced once a year. Mocha produced 6, and we now produce 4.
Okay.
So, but during that early time, there wasn't sort of a lot of competition. But unfortunately, Dennis contracted a terminal illness, and so he said to me, "You can have the magazine." And I went, "I'd only been in it 6 months," and I said, "Oh, I think that's a bit much." So I closed the magazine down. So InStyle was closed down from the year 2000 to the middle of 2001. And it was bought by the Intermedia Group, who own it now. And they rang me and said, "Do you want to come and run InStyle?" So I had to actually restart it from the whole beginning.
Okay.
Back from
So
scratch, yeah.
back from scratch, that's now 26 years ago.
Wow.
And I've still been there during all that time.
Yes.
And watching the magazine grow and change. And, we've launched Style Icons in 2008, which is, was really well ahead of its time. We launched an education platform, which was online education in 2012, way too early.
Wow.
So we closed that one down. And then we've just gradually grown the business. And, of course, COVID hit, didn't it? Yes. So the year that COVID hit, I actually had heart surgery. So, which probably not many people know, but... yeah, they found I had a faulty valve in my heart, so I had heart surgery. And it was at the beginning of February, and I was in intensive care. And I remember the nursing staff saying, "Oh, there's this new disease called COVID."
Oh, my God.
And I was actually
in the hospital during
and
this
I'm
time.
during this time going, what is going on in the outside world? How weird is this?
You become disconnected and you don't know what's going on out there.
And then, I came out of hospital and everything had changed. Like everything had changed. So, we had terrible restrictions in Victoria. We weren't as restricted in New South Wales, but everything had really changed.
You were in Victoria during this time?
No, I was in Sydney. No, I've been in Sydney since 1978.
Oh, wow.
Been in Sydney.
Once she moved, she stayed here.
I stayed.
Yeah.
Well, I met my husband, and once you sort of set your roots down, it's hard to go home. But Melbourne will always be my home.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's great. Jo, I have so much questions to ask you.
And
oh
all
my
I'm
God.
doing is going blah blah blah.
And I love it. I love
was
to
interesting.
understand
It's so
all that.
good.
You've been through many industries, hairdressing, then wholesale, then brands, then creation of products, then magazines, and, just going back a little bit because I would love to understand a little bit more. what do you see in this industry in regards to changes? You know, what is the average of change? You know, I feel that people get sick of things, or they always looking for something new to show, to be the first one. What is the average of time that you see that things get rebooted?
You know, it used to be that things would be repackaged every 7 years. I think the big thing I see is that packaging is changing very regularly. It's changing like every 2 to 3 years. People are I think the world is changing so much that we want everything new and exciting all the time.
Yes.
You know, when there wasn't
That
as much
dopamine level all the time on hype.
I know when there wasn't as much technology around and you weren't as exposed to things, you know, you would get a product and you would stay with it for a while. But now I think everything is changing, and I think the consumer is wanting more. They're wanting, they want to look better. They want to look better, you know, in their skin. They want to look better in their hair. And they're much more influence in the past. So hairdressing, when I started, was a crumpled picture of a model or a actress that used to be brought into you, and you'd go, oh, you want to look like that? Your hair's nothing like that. You know, you know that whole experience we have when people go, I want to look like that. You have no hope.
We literally had we had magazines.
Yeah.
Clients would come in with a magazine. Saying, I want a hair.
I want a hair like that.
And you have 1/3 of the amount of hair in his hair. I want to look like
I
that.
was like, her hair's this long and the client's hair's this short.
Or their hair is like massively frizzy and they want it really straight. It's like, you're going to pay a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to pay a lot for that.
Yeah.
And I think now with social media, people are very much exposed to the opportunity to see a whole plethora of, you know, styles and things like that.
Yeah.
And I see that the authority of us as hairdressers has changed a lot as well. So, you know, years ago, you'd only go to a hairdresser to ask advice. I mean, now people get a phone, they look at the picture and they go, you know, I want to look like that. And they talk to their friends, or they see an influencer online who actually has no qualifications.
Yeah.
And it used to drive me crazy. My daughter used to pick her mobile up and I'd say, what are you watching? Oh, it's a, you know, makeup artist doing something. I should say to her, what's her qualifications? She'd go, Mum, get with the program. They don't have to be qualified. They just have to be able to do it well.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the challenges for us as hairdressers is recreating that authority, more of an authority to who we are, what we can offer, and where we should go as an industry.
100%.
Yeah, and that's I think that's a challenge.
It is.
And I think only the industry can grasp that and really do something with that.
Yeah.
And I hate to think that people think being a barista is more exciting than being a hairdresser. And I think what people don't understand is that as a hairdresser, we have such an opportunity to change people's lives,
exactly.
to make people feel amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do semi-regularly, but it's every 2 months, is I cut hair for homeless people now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. With that, what's that company?
A community hair project.
Yes, they already came here once.
Yes,
Did they?
came here.
Yeah, we've done a day with them.
Oh,
We've
have
done
you?
That was exciting
transformed the
as well.
hair for a few girls, and it was amazing.
Yeah, well, I work in one area, so I'm right next to Central Station. So I work on a Sunday afternoon, and I have never cut hair so fast in my whole life. And I think the first time I went, there was another hairdresser there, and they went, "You're going to have to get a bit quicker." And because you know, like precision, you're like, I learned precision. I'm going to make sure every cut's perfect. And but what I learned is that the ability to help people who are in a disadvantaged situation, it's not always about the quality of the cut. It's just how you make them feel.
Exactly.
And I actually have a clientele of people around Central Station. So when I turn up, I call out, who's having a haircut? They all come over. My husband comes with me. He's my door bitch. He gives out, I said bitch. He gives out numbers and keeps them all in, you know, right? You're next.
Oh, coordinating the line.
Number 4,
Wait, yeah.
Where's
And-
number 5 trying to get in?
yeah, no,
I love that.
it's really fun. And whilst they're waiting to have a haircut, they get food from a company called Plates for Mates. So they hand out 2 meals for them that they can go away with. And
amazing.
I've been
So
doing this on
nice.
my own for about 3 years. And I was at a sustainable salons event at
Yes.
Oz Harvest, and I was cutting hair, and I was chatting to a few of the TAFE teachers who I know helped me at Hair Festival
Yeah.
at the hair
Yes.
competitions. And I went, you wouldn't be able, do you want to come and cut some hair with me if you like doing this? So I now have 2 of the TAFE teachers coming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to help
cool.
me.
She's
and
expanding.
so we can now get through 3 times the number of haircuts.
Oh,
and
wow.
and it, it's really, really exciting. But I will never forget this one day. I was packing up, and it was late in the day. This lady came over. She was Aboriginal, and she just had her hair in a top notch, and she said, "You still cutting hair, love?" And I went, "Absolutely. What do you want?" She pulled her hair out. "What can you do?" And I was like, "Okay, all right, what would you like?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "Would you like a bob?" And she went, oh, that would be lovely. And during that time I cut her hair, she asked me what it was like to go to Brisbane, what it was like to go to Melbourne, because she was born in Bourke and she'd only come to Sydney and never seen any other part of Australia. So it was sort of very grounding. Every time I do it, it's a very grounding process. But when I finished and cutting her hair, I turned my camera onto a selfie mode so she could see herself, and her look on her face was just amazing.
Yeah.
And as she walked away from me, when people are confident, they go like this with her hair. She was walking down the street going, "Oh my God!" My husband said to me, "Look at what you've done."
I know.
And I think that warms my heart every
Yes.
time I think about that.
Yes.
And I think about hairdressing and what we can do.
Yes.
And it's our license to touch, and it's a license to make somebody feel good. Sorry,
Oh,
I've probably gone
definitely.
completely off track.
No. This
But,
is exactly the track, because on our industry, we feel so much this.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone comes in with no hope.
They do.
You've got a really frizzy hair. How are you going to get a bob with a really frizzy,
Frizzy.
curly hair?
Yeah.
There is no hope for you. And then when we can transform that and show to them, this is your new view,
Yeah.
it's amazing. That sparkle on the eye,
Yeah.
this is what moved me in the beginning.
And
This was...
And it continues to move you.
It does, everyone says someone is driven by something.
Yes.
Money is definitely not what pushes me.
No.
Because if it was money, we would say yes to so many other things.
Yes.
It's actually the possibility of helping and seeing people
Yeah.
giving the best, And I feel that the hairdresser that has that, she's happier.
Yes.
Because it's not only about paying the bills and having the money. It's actually feeling fulfilled. At the end
Yes.
of the day, you
Yeah.
feel like I've done something to this world. I've
Yes.
done something for somebody.
We always,
I love that.
We always talk about that. We always say, like, when me and MJ are having a conversation, we're like, how good does it feel seeing the smile
Yeah.
on so many women's face who walk in and they have no hope?
But that's
Yeah.
why
Like,
we've
this hair's
got
not
really
fixable.
hard on the training part.
Yes.
Because I've said, if we do give the product and people don't know well how to, use it for the best, they're not going to be able to receive this back.
No.
They're going to able to receive a thank you. But like, wow, you changed my life. Now everything is different. There is a story. There was this lady, she's Lebanese. And she came in, I was doing in my garage, trainings all day. And this is how I met this woman right here. So
Right from the start.
so she came in and I was like, I was doing trainings all day for free. So I was doing many hairs possible for me to understand, so to be able to sell. My English wasn't the best, as an immigrant. So I say, I need something, I need at least to be good at something. So someone can say, or whatever, if you say something wrong, you have amazing hands. So I was testing and testing and testing. And she said, I saw your post on Instagram, but I saw that you already picked somebody. But I came in and I said, honey, it's 9:00. I can't. And then she said to me, look, I'm going to get married on Sunday. This was a Thursday. And she said, this is my hair. And I don't want my husband to know me for the first time with this hair. And then I say to her, before she
She
taking the
wears the
hijab
hijab.
off, before
So
she
he hasn't seen the scarf
before
to
she
her
taking the hijab off, she said, I don't want him to see my hair the way it is. And then I say,
Wow.
he's going to love you the way you are, blah, 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 all that. And then she did like this. And I said, okay, sit down. Since then, he doesn't know her hair yet.
He still will never know her hair. 'Cause now she's got NANOPLASty. So I'm
right.
guessing she would have had like really frizzy or curly
Oh,
hair.
so frizzy, and he
unmaintainable.
was so damaged. And then I say, no, your first experience, no, sit here.
And it's not just impressing him.
Yes.
It's her confidence
Exactly.
too.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
She wants to be able to like wake up next to her husband and be like, I look so beautiful.
Beautiful.
She doesn't
But-
want to wake up next to not just her husband, even for herself, and be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, my hair.
But that sparkle in her eyes when we
Yes.
finished, it
And
was
you'll never
past
forget it.
midnight. And I was like, I went up because he was on my garage and I had to go up on stairs. Sam would say, really? It's 1 o'clock. And I say, but you look so happy. And I say, oh, I'm going to sleep like a baby
Yeah.
tonight.
Yes.
So that
rewarding.
feeling really gives me. And what you think about the educational side of us, because I believe that in this industry today, as you say, there is a lot of influence from social media and tips from TikTok and ChatGPT giving you advice in here and there. What do you think, by the experience you having the contact of so many brands, so many people, so many hairdressers, how do you think this is going to be in the future? You think it's going to...
Gee, yeah, that's a really interesting question.
It is.
Really interesting. I think it comes back to the salon themselves and to hairdressers and, to owners that have the responsibility of staff. I think training your staff ongoing and not just going, well, it's some influencer or whatever. I think training is at the core of our industry, and it's what will set our industry apart in years to come. For things like advice on AI and, things on social media and, God, don't get me started on TikTok. I mean, that's just, it's out of control. It's out of control. But, and I always think it's really hard for hairdressers. Well, I wouldn't be sharing all my ideas, if you know what I mean, on social media. I
Yes.
think we really need to keep some things a bit secret.
Some of our
Oh, yeah.
talents for
Because-
ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
We spend a lot of money training, and I think we must pay for training to value training. If people get things for free, they don't value it as much.
I agree.
And
300%.
you must pay for your training. You get value, and then you can go. When you introduce this new service into the salon, there should be no problem justifying the price.
Yes.
I've been on a 1-day training course, 3-day training. I've been to night training.
Yeah.
This is a new service. This is going to do this, and consumers going to go, yeah, sure, how much?
Exactly.
And they in their own mind will justify it, and that kind of can also open a can of worms when we start talking price, because that's probably the biggest challenge in our industry.
In the
We don't
hairdressing
value
industry.
our skills as hairdressers. How many hours? I mean, if I sort of put together all the dollars that I've spent doing training to be a hairdresser,
Yeah.
it's so expensive. I mean, you look at being a doctor, they spend thousands. They charge us thousands.
Yeah.
We spend thousands, but we don't charge that.
Exactly.
And I just think, we should never be afraid to charge for training, but we should also put our staff through training on a regular basis. But I think one of the challenges at the moment is we have a lot of we have a new era of hairdresser. So when I started, I didn't care if I worked 50 hours. I didn't only got paid for 40, but I didn't care because I loved what I did. But I think sometimes in the era of hairdressing that we're in, there's a different mindset.
Yes.
It's and I'm not against that mindset, because I think welfare and lifestyle is really important, because I think sometimes we overdo it. I'm the
Yes.
first one just to kind of overdo it. But I think that, it's tough training, because you can't always get people to train,
Yeah.
after hours. And that must be a huge challenge to you.
For us, it is a big challenge because they need the training, but there needs some standards, of, it needs to be this and that way. But, in the other hand, I feel that the way that the world is going now, it's very similar to what the hairdressers industry is feeling. Everywhere. To
Yes.
find someone to work by any means for any profession, you feel that way.
Yes.
It kind of needs to be on your terms. And then I say, you are just starting. You need to build a skin around you to be able to face the world. And if you don't, you're going to be always with that thin skin forever.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I feel that it's not only on the hairdressing. I feel that everywhere you go, this is the mindset. But I think it gives us a very good insight. The ones that have already the thick skin, these are the ones that should be running the show. They
That's
have
right.
the knowledge. But then it comes down to, I feel that the online today is taking a lot of the out the self-esteem.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes someone is amazing,
Yeah.
but they don't show amazing on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Automatically, they're not as amazing as that person that started yesterday.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
So
And
the-
it's just a
5-minute
personality
hero.
thing.
Yes.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's just a behind the screen thing.
Yes.
Because I remember when I started hairdressing, I started really, really young as well.
Yes.
So I'm so everything you're talking about, I'm like, yep, I can relate.
Yep.
And when I started hairdressing, when I would apply for a job, I wouldn't even ask how much am I going to get paid. I just wanted
the
to
job.
learn.
Yes.
I wanted to learn. So I was thirsty for education. So I was
Yeah.
just standing there and I'm like, I learned how to cut today. I learned how to color today. And I was really, really young. Where I know today, hiring, they don't want to, even if
They
you
don't
tell
want to
them,
start the
we're
bottom.
going to do training, we're going to learn this, you're going to learn that. Oh, don't worry about that. How much are we getting paid?
Ah.
And that's just what it's become now. And it's like, oh, but, at that salon, they're charging this much or they're paying that much. And I'm like, what's happened to today's day? Like, no one's doing it as a passion, as a hunger to learn.
obviously that it's more
it's-
expensive today to
it
live.
is,
It's
it is,
you have
it is.
these other expenses that
It
we didn't
is.
have before. But even on the other hand, it
Education
creates
was
to the
bigger.
hairdressers today that we don't have much competition,
No.
like proper competition.
No.
That's
Someone
right.
that will do amazing over there for cheaper
Yeah.
or etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
my environment, on the nanoplasty world, I've got all the time hairdressers saying, oh, now there is this brand selling to non-hairdressers and they're now charging $150.
Yeah.
And you say, thank God that the ones that will pay for it will go there.
Yeah.
Then you have the chance of doing the best for those ones that are willing to pay for the proper price
Yeah.
Yes.
from someone profession,
Yeah.
you know.
And you probably find that you will get the ones that have been to a non-professional person that's not trained. They'll end up coming back to you
They
because
Yes.
always
fix
do.
it,
Yeah.
They
fix it.
always
It's
do.
like the home hair color, isn't
Yes.
it?
Oh.
Yes.
It's like, oh my
Or the
goodness.
TikTok trend of this fringe haircut.
Oh,
We're fixing
my
it
God.
on
The
a weekly
bang.
basis now. I swear.
I
I'm not
haven't
joking.
seen it.
So there's these new haircuts that clients are coming in saying, I've damaged my own hair. Can you fix this?
Yeah.
Or they've also gone to, and as I was saying, because no one wants to train and no one wants to learn, they go to like hairdressers and they would say it to me. Like, oh, Sarah, they said they were going to charge me 100 less than you, but now my hair's all burnt. Can you fix it? And I'll be like,
Now
well,
you're
now
paying
you're gonna
300
pay
more.
now you're paying
Pay
an
more.
extra 200 to fix that and then get what you want. So it's happening quite often, unfortunately, and it is like as we were saying, because of now the social media with
Yeah.
the
So the impact on social media has
Yeah.
been a lot for the hairdressers.
Yeah.
But what about for
Yeah.
the magazine? I feel that, the
Oh,
paper
yeah.
magazine and then now competing with the online world, that was an
Digital.
impact or not really? Because
Yes,
from us that is on
massive.
the outside, we don't really see it. We see that the magazines are still there. Do you feel that someone grab a magazine today and they kind of go through the pages, or online they see a little bit more? How that is working now?
I think the magazine world has definitely changed. So we were producing 6 mags a year, and we decided to go quarterly. And it's because people are reading more online. But the difference when you actually get something physically into your hands, you actually read it. So I teach marketing at uni. And I say to my guys, if you're reading anything online, you're skimming it. You're just skimming.
Yeah.
If I gave you a textbook, you'd actually go, oh, look at that.
That's right.
Look at that. Look at that.
100%, yeah.
And you'd get a sticky note and put it beside it and go, I need to remember that. And so what we find is that more people are probably, well, let me say that. We still send out 14,000 magazines. We have a readership of about 42,000. So there's about 3 times, people will pass the magazine on in a salon. But we have also noticed that about 8,000 people are consuming online. So they go onto our website and they look at the magazine that way. But interestingly, hairdressers are very tactile. So if I give them a magazine, they open it up and they kind of rub the pages like this. They go, oh, I love that look. Because they get very passionate about being, because, when you look at a picture on the screen,
Yeah.
you go, oh, yeah. But when you see that same picture physically with you, they rub it and touch it and they go, oh, I love it. I love it. So as an industry, we're very tactile. And so people that get the magazine, they play and touch and feel and then it just goes on a coffee table, and then they go back to it for inspiration or for
Yes.
information and things like that. But then our online viewing of Style Icons, we've about 37,500 that kind of come in there and view the magazine over a month, view the website on a monthly basis. So when we morphed from just having a magazine to online, it allowed us to tell stories every 2 days. So we get information from you, from all sorts of different businesses, from hairdressers themselves. Hey, I've renovated my salon. This is what we look like now, to launches of products, to all sorts of different things. So we can now tell that story quickly. Whereas when you produce a magazine every couple of months,
Yes.
it's slow to get the news out. So I guess the speed of delivery of news for us is quicker online.
Yes.
But then when you want to get an in-depth read, then it's in the
Yes.
magazine. So that's how we kind of qualify it. And then, of course, we commercialise our social media. So, brands can do things with our socials and boost, because we've got an audience about 45,000 just for
Yes.
InStyle.
Wow.
And then Hair Festival is a whole, different, a whole different beast. So that's a whole nother conversation, I
Wow.
guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I going to the hair festival now on this whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was for you to start, this movement and
Well-
see that growing the way it did? I'm so gobsmacked by the size of that
Yeah.
place this year.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
It's pretty exciting. And it came about, I'll tell you how it all came about. So Reed used to have Hair Expo, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and they decided in, I think it was May 2020, to announce that they weren't going ahead anymore. I was getting over my surgery and I still wasn't working, but I was getting the odd email, and my boss emailed me in July, and he said, you coming back? And I went, yeah, I'm coming back. He goes, well, I've got a new project. And I went, okay, what are we doing? He said, what do you think if we launch an event like Hair Expo? And I went, okay, all right, because I had worked on an event called Hair in Fashion, which was launched by the Intermedia Group way back. I can't even tell you what year we did it. And it was a Melbourne event. It was a while ago. And it was a Melbourne event, and we ran it at the Exhibition Centre in Melbourne because Hair Expo was only in Sydney, and Reed decided that was competition, so they bought it and buried it. So I did it for a couple of years. So I had worked from the ground floor on putting something like that together with an event director who obviously was amazingly experienced. So when we started Hair Festival, we actually had a meeting in August 2020. And
Because 19 was the last year of Hair
Expo.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Floractive came to 2019.
Oh,
Yes.
right, yeah. Well, yeah, I was.
It was massive.
It was
big.
massive.
Yeah.
But at that time, they were charging about $54 to go in. And the stands were very expensive.
Very
and the
expensive.
education was really expensive. And we had a stand, and I used to circulate around the floor and talk to people and say, I just get lots of feedback
Yes.
about things they didn't like. So when we started this project, developing up Hair Festival, I said to everybody, okay, I have a list of things that we can't do. And they went, what? And I said, well, people hated things at Expo. So we're going to do everything different.
Like what? Can you give us an example of things?
Charging to come in.
Yes.
So I said,
prices.
right, we shouldn't charge to come in. And my managing director's going, but that's revenue. That's sales, Joe. And I said, yes, but if you don't charge people to come in, they'll come in with an attitude that's so different. And the first day of Hair Festival at Carriage Works, the doors opened and everybody came in and they were laughing, they were smiling, and they just wanted to buy because they hadn't spent any money.
Yes.
So that's one thing that I really wanted to make sure. The second thing is I wanted everything to be affordable. So, and I'm a pretty strong personality, so my managing director's like, okay, we'll listen to her list of requirements. So the second thing was, if we have education, let's make it affordable and let's make it available to everybody. Let's not have a really high price ticket, because that's not going to be conducive to build the industry, because the industry, you know, was suffering with COVID.
Yes.
We were really suffering.
That's true.
So then and I said, let's try and keep the stand prices at a reasonable thing. And my managing director was like, how, Joe, are we going to make money? And I went, I'm going to sell a lot of stands. We just sell a lot of stands. We'll come together and we'll create something. So we looked at what venues. We couldn't afford the ICC, so we went to Carriage Works. And Carriage Works is very different because, as you know, you were there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's an empty shell.
Yes.
It has no heating. It does have lighting, but not a lot. And it's not purpose built for exhibitions.
No,
so
wasn't.
and the floors are uneven. So I remember I think it was in the second year, somebody built a stand and they built it over one of the railway tracks, and the walls were like, we couldn't even get their bench to look straight. So there I
was near to the railway or not, Sam?
You probably were. Yes. There were railway lines all the way through that floor. Oh, so there I am with blocks of wood underneath, propping this up.
No.
So we got it absolutely straight. And even my stand, I'd selected the stand where the floor had kind of gone down on a funny angle.
Oh, gosh.
So even my stand was on a funny angle. But the guys from ExpoNet who we use, they got my banner across the wall. So like about that much of the banner was just air behind it. So it looked like we had a straight wall. So there was lots of challenges. But, you know, when we just started and just put together, you know, the basis of the idea, went around the industry and said, what do you think? And so we thought, right, 2021, we're on for it. It's going to be perfect. So what did COVID do? It locked Victoria down completely. So
you had plans to go to Victoria as well and do it there?
No. Half of our exhibitors were coming from Victoria.
Yes.
They couldn't come.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I think it was 2 weeks out. I went to our event director and I went, we have to call it off. And she goes, why? And I went, all these exhibitors can't come. We're going to have an empty floor. It's going to be a disaster. And my managing director's going, do you think, is this really going to work? I said, we have to do it. So we did. We said, we'll postpone it till September. So we postponed it till September. We got locked down. New South Wales got locked down in 21. So we went, right, we're going to go to 22. So Hair Festival had a couple of hiccups. But when we opened those doors on that June long weekend and watched all those people came in, we had 4,100 walk in the door.
Wow, the first one.
The first one.
22.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah,
You were there.
yeah, we were
You
there.
were there.
I was there.
You were the first with the photo booth.
Yes.
And, yes.
We had that line of people waiting.
Projecting it out. And I'm like, okay, we'll let it go. Because, you know, when you're in exhibitions, everything has to be behind the walls and the lines.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
We're an expert on that, AJ.
But, you know, it was really exciting. It was very, very exciting. And, you know, then the next year we had 4,800. We were like, and we put heating in because the first year we all had puffer jackets on the first day. We bought blankets for people because they were cold in education.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was lots of things. We had models in set up changing rooms and that. They were just like, they wore nothing, but they just had so many clothes on.
Yeah. We didn't even feel a thing. We were running around up and down. We couldn't even feel it.
Yeah, no, I was running around a bit myself, but I think the second day I put a puffer on because I'm like, I just can't do this.
No, I remember that. It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold. But, you know, after 2 years, we realised that we needed to make some changes. So we had it on the long weekend in June, which is when Expo was on. But we had talked to a lot of hairdressers and companies, and they all said, we don't want to come because it's a long weekend. It's when we have family. And I think that's when COVID created a whole shift in society where we all of a sudden realised that we needed to have more time with family. Because COVID forced us to do that, and we realised the importance of family. And so we then went around the country to all the major companies and said, if we moved it to a different weekend and changed the venue, what would that change in your association with us? And everybody gave us a tick.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so we took the gamble. We changed it from the long weekend in June to the last weekend in June. We moved it to the ICC. So who changes a date and a venue on an event that's 2 years old?
Yes.
Massive gamble. And I must say,
That was a big
I was watching all the ticket sales and registrations coming through, and I was like, please, please, please. And I almost cried because on day one of the 2024 event, I went up to registration. We had queues out the door. It was wild, and I was like,
Yay.
it worked.
Yes,
It
was
worked.
amazing.
I was like, fingers
Fingers
crossed,
crossed.
and we got here. We
And
got
it worked.
here.
And
Wow.
I think, you know, when you develop up an event, and my passion for festival is because I want to bring the industry together.
Yes.
I want them to be able to find new products and to connect, because we're a person industry, we're people. And what has been so exciting to watch is people absolutely getting and hugging and you know, kissing each other and just going, oh, I'm here. You know, that whole, woo, you know, that's what we
know.
They don't have many things,
No.
especially to get excited.
No.
Yeah.
And I feel that the community is important anywhere.
Yes.
And
it is.
online is one thing. You see each
Yeah.
other, you watch
Yeah.
reels, blah, blah, blah. But when you are there and you feel that person,
Yeah.
it's incredible. We have people seeing us from day one in 22.
Yes.
And every year they come in and they say, oh, this is
you're
the
back.
time of the
Okay,
year
yeah,
that we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
You're
It's
back.
such a good feeling.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
we are forever grateful to Flora Active for your support of our event, because you guys have been absolutely amazing. And you know, if whatever we
thank
can
you,
do to
Jo.
reward you, to help you, because you know your presence helped us. And you know, in 26 we've now expanded, because in 24 we got a throbbing kind of vibe. In 25, we were packed to the gunnels. We just had no room. So in 26, we've gone to another half a hall. So that means that there'll be more room. And it will be a pretty exciting event. We've got lots of things in.
Oh, that's so good.
Lots
Thank
of
you,
things
Jo.
planning.
It means a lot for us there
Yeah.
because, you know, since the beginning, we've been trying to be different and attract people and try to show that we're doing something relevant to the market.
Yeah.
And definitely the event help us to show a little bit more about us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look, it's a great platform, and it's where you can be you, and where you can showcase your education and showcase products that hairdressers may never see. Because I guess I'm in a great fortunate situation. I get to meet a lot of people who run companies who have an amazing range of products. And coming today, looking at your range of products, I had no idea everything that you have, which is really why we have an event like Festival, because it just allows you to showcase
Yes.
if you can, but you've got such a wide range of products. It's hard
Yes.
to showcase everything, and I think that's probably the biggest challenge. But it just is it's exciting to know that there are so many products out there, but then people can come to one point and see them.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
And make some decisions, and most importantly, have fun. You know, the thing about our industry, for a lot of people, our industry is like a hobby. And I have a friend of mine that retired from hairdressing recently, and he said, and he came back to Festival and he said to me, I realised I gave up my hobby. I still love doing hair.
Yeah.
And he said, I decided I'd retire. And he said, yes, I'm getting older and whatever. But he said it was my hobby. And I think a lot of hairdressers do it because they love it.
Yes.
And I've always done what I've done, not for money. You were talking about not doing it for money.
Yeah.
And I've of that ethos as well. And you probably are as well. You do it because you love it. And I think that's, you know, people that are in the industry do it because they love it. It's a hard job.
It is.
You're standing on your feet every day.
exhausting.
You're listening to people telling you everything that you have to absorb and go, right, let's just let that bit go. But at the same time, they're empowering you to make them look better. And then we get that reward of
It's
the big
so
smile
rewarding.
and go,
It is
oh,
so
wow, that's
rewarding.
amazing. That's so
As
exciting.
much as you're physically tired at the end of a
Yes.
working
Yes.
day,
Yeah.
you're emotionally and mentally so excited
Excited.
because you've made so many people so happy.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah.
very, very rewarding, I know.
Yeah.
Now, what it means a successful stand at the expo? You know, because we see structure of stands doing this, and that. Obviously, you have the experience and you've seen. What would you say to someone that never been to the expo and they would like to have a stand there? What would be the key points for you that would make a successful stand?
I think making sure you know your identity, so who you are. So what will stop somebody coming to a stand is what they see when they walk towards your stand. So your branding is really important. It's not always about the big stand build. It's about your branding, and then it's about the welcoming nature of people around the stand that, hi, you know,
Yes.
what would you like to know?
Yeah.
You're here. I know you're probably just walking past or whatever. It's that branding that really
Visual, the
reflects who you want to be. And sometimes that's one of the hardest things. How do I want to see myself?
Yeah.
It's like when you build a website. How do I want that website to look? How do I want that to reflect my business?
Yeah.
So a stand is just a reflection of that. How do I want my stand to look that's going to make people want to, you know, come by and walk in and, you know, making people feel they can walk in. I think that's the other thing.
The welcoming.
Yeah, that whole welcoming feel is really important. And, you know, to make sure that everybody that's on the stand is of the same ethos.
Yeah.
You know, they're not there because, oh my God, my boss has made me come.
Yeah.
But they're there because they want to be there and they want to, they want to meet people and everything else. And, you know, some of the busy stands are the stands that just do that. They're very welcoming. They're excited about their product and they make people feel good and realise that there's an opportunity in their business to put that product in because not all salons do every service that they possibly could. And if I was running a salon today, I would be doing nanoplasty, I would be doing hair extensions as well as colour, the whole
lot.
gambit.
Yeah.
But I think one of the challenges I see in the industry is they go, oh no, I couldn't do that. Why not? Why not? What's different about learning about nanoplasty versus learning colour?
Yeah.
It's a service. So once you learn it,
To become a hairdresser, we learn everything.
yeah.
From hair straightening to perming to colouring to cutting. So
yeah.
why can't we learn the latest trends?
Yeah.
And there's as we were saying, the education is available.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
available.
And I think it's just sometimes as hairdressers we get a little pigeonholed in our own world because we're within our four walls and we don't realise that learning a new service or learning a new treatment or learning a new technique of some sort is going to expand us. And once you do, the first one you'll be nervous. There's no doubt about it. You'll be very nervous. But if, you know, once you've done the training and you do the first one, you go, yes, I'm right and I'm ready to go. And then you get very empowered with it. Yeah.
What about the educational part of the event, of the hair festival?
Yeah.
Do you feel that over the years has been improving and getting better? Because now I feel that there is so many new trainings there happening, new techniques, things coming in, people from all the other countries as well.
Yeah. Look, we the education side is a big part for us. So we always run our Real Talk Business Forum. But then, you know, companies like yourselves hire the education rooms to educate to a greater degree. And that's where I think our education has really changed. And it's kind of a little trendy. Sometimes we have quite a lot of hair extensions.
Yes.
Sometimes we have a lot of international names. We don't bring those people. They're brought by
The brands.
by the brands themselves. But we sell thousands of tickets, because hairdressers, it's a point at which they can come to an event, they can get a big understanding of what's happening in the industry, but then they can go to bite-sized education because an hour is a great, bite size. Now I need to learn more about that. So the idea of our education is to give these little bite size so that hairdressers can see what they can learn in the future, and then go to that brand and do like a longer education or something that's going to work. But this year coming up, we've got extensions, we've got cutting, we've got some overseas people coming, but a lot of the education kind of gets announced at the beginning of this year as companies decide who they're going to bring in and things like that. So
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And how you see the market heading to? I know that you see a lot of trends coming in. What you see that trends will be on the next 3-5 years?
That's a really good question. I see a lot of growth for your brand, NANOPLASTY treatments. I see a lot of growth for Flora Active from what I can see today. Massive. Look, there are all sorts of trends happening, and I think the perm trend is something that's definitely started about 18 months ago, and
Slowly coming back.
yes, it's slowly coming back. And I think there's a fear of the frizzy curly perm that I guess. I tried not to do frizzy curly perms, but
But it was common.
It was common.
It was common,
And I
yeah.
was really fortunate. I learned a lot of perming techniques that, you could do these beautiful, long, curly perms and things like that. And I think we're going to see a resurgence in maybe the understanding of perming and the flexibility that perming can really offer.
Yeah.
Because after all, people spend hundreds of dollars buying curling wands and to make these
Exactly.
curls,
Yeah.
whereas they could have a treatment and every day look like that. So I see perming as another trend that's going to resurface, and has resurfaced already. Let's say it's just going to be getting the consumer to understand that. And I think as an industry, if we want this to be a trend, then we need to start creating these beautiful curls, putting on social media and talking about it as you could look like this and not have to do this, every day.
Yeah.
So I think as an industry, we need to be empowering ourselves to speak more about trends and to talk about, new treatments and to talk about, if your hair is dry, it doesn't have to be dry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you look at advertising on TV, and I don't watch a lot of free to air, but I've started to watch the tennis. So, the tennis has got a lot of free to air. And what do they put? These pictures of these women with this beautiful curly hair. Their hair's terrible. And then, they go, in 3 minutes, throw a treatment on. It's going to look like that. It's never going to look like that, right?
Exactly.
We know that as hairdressers. But maybe some of the things we can do with social media is we can use it to our benefit to start promoting the services that we do, not just creating the same flicky hairs that you sort of see all the time on social. But, people love to see that. But what is something that can make that flicky hair look, I call it flicky hair. I don't know what you call it, but all I see is people just doing the wave and the whole placement of the hair. We can do ourselves a favour and
100%.
try and promote and talk about, different services. Show before and afters. How often do we really see before and afters on socials? We only ever see the after. But if you put before and after, people go, oh, my goodness, my hair's just like that.
Turned that from that to
From
that.
to that.
Yeah.
And the consumer uses social media as a selection of their hairdresser. And so use it as a tool. Don't just always show the same girls, the same long-haired girls with the same blonde bit just going around the outside. Become a little bit more creative and just show what you can do as a service. So any service that we decide that's going to sort of be the next trend, it's up to us as hairdressers,
To either push it
push it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I think perming, there's still room for those kind of Olaplexy.
Yes.
I mean, Olaplex and all the other plexes that kind of come out, the plexing going into colour, that's a trend that I'm seeing.
I'm
Yeah,
big
all
on
of
that one.
the Plex thing was very, very strong about 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Right,
Yeah.
when it came out.
Yeah.
So we were like, how are we going to live without Plex?
Yeah.
So kind of the brand started embedding the products inside of Plex. You know,
Yeah.
so a lot of products that we have the Plex inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it already comes out of the manufacturer with that.
With that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
I think
Active,
that's
yeah.
just
I
how
have a lot of
sometimes ingredients,
Yeah.
in the industry start. They start as a product, and
Yes.
then they realize the value of
That
the
product.
conditioning
Yeah.
element,
Yeah.
and then so now I see plexes are in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other trend people are talking about is treating the scalp like skin.
Yes.
That's a really
That's a
big
big one
treatment.
now,
Yes.
A real kind of it's been going for about 12 to 18 months, but people are talking about like treating the scalp like skin, and
But
it is. I
It
mean,
is
it
important.
skin.
Oh
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
skin.
We treat
It's
the
a
rest. We
major-
forget about where
Yeah.
everything comes
Yes.
I think it's the main source. If your
Yeah.
It
your
is.
scalp isn't
Yeah.
healthy,
Yeah.
your hair's not going to be any better.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
from. Now
Yeah.
you on this world of magazines, and I don't want to push you to be here today because I can be here the whole day talking. You see that we can talk a lot.
We can talk a lot. Yeah.
In this industry, especially now with social media, I feel that people push one information to kind of go against other information to be out there. You know, like let's talk about
Controversial.
sulfate, silicons, and all that things that they create a demon about it. It's horrible. It's gonna do this. It scared a lot of people, and then they sell something, and then someone else come in and say, no, it's actually not that bad. Ammonia and this, and I feel that the consumer out there, they get confused.
They do.
They don't know what to do, and they search. So they've got the team sulfate and the team sulfate free, the team ammonia, the team zero ammonia, the team silicon, the team zero silicon. How do you see that, especially on brands? You know, you're dealing with Hair Festival and you see everyone there, the pros and the cons, and people that say do this and the people say don't do that. How do you deal with that? Because I imagine, Jo, that your phone will be the whole day ringing. A company saying, oh, why are they doing this? Oh, why are they doing that? Oh, why are they going here? Why are they going there?
Oh, look, we have a bit of a policy. We just become Switzerland. We just stay neutral, completely neutral. And I think every brand has the way in which they want to promote it and market it. And I say to hairdressers, do your research. Research the company that says sulfate-free is better than sulfate or ammonia-free is better than ammonia. Do your homework. Don't just listen to a sales spiel.
Yeah.
Research it. You know, as hairdressers, we know the difference between acid and alkaline. We know that a silicon's going to coat. We know that products need to have a molecule of a certain size that's going to penetrate into the hair to really be valuable. So do your research and make sure that the information that you get, that they can prove
Exactly.
that
It's
true.
true. It's not just
And
words.
if they can't prove that it's true, then you need to walk away.
Yeah.
Because in every business, there will be that salesperson that might knock on your door, or you might go to an exhibition and they'll say, oh, it's glorious. It'll, maybe
They're good at
grow mountains of
selling.
hair or whatever it might be. But just do due diligence and don't just accept what somebody is saying. Test
your
it
research.
and make sure that the decision you make is the right one.
Did you see that answer right there, MJ? It was always going back to education and knowledge.
It does.
Yes.
And this is why we're so big. We're so passionate about learning and teaching. In
Yes.
Flora Active, it's one of the biggest thing for us.
It's just I didn't see any other way.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't. There isn't. When you bring a whole new service
Exactly.
in, people don't understand the service and
was
they
like-
go, oh, it's voodoo. It's not
Yeah.
voodoo. It's
And
not
I
voodoo.
passed
not
1
magic.
year responding, it's not keratin. It's not
Yes.
chemical straightening. It's not keratin. It's not chemical straightening.
And they're like, so what is it?
Yeah, so I was like, there is no other way to expose something without giving them the proper education, you know. And when we educate, and all the technicians that we get to be on the team, they feel the same way, you know.
We're so
It needs to
passionate.
make
We
sense.
Yes.
You know, I can explain something to you, like when Samuel starts explaining to me about cars.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, what's that? Where is this pipe? Where this pipe goes? Front, back of the car, inside, outside. So I said, I need to explain something that makes sense, you know, so people will be able to explain to their own clients.
Yes.
That's the way that they're going to record the information and make sure that the client can see that. You know, so education for us, such a vital part. We created an online education to be able to provide the best, you know, education for clients. Because there is that client that want that quick education.
Yes.
Give me the information in 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then the other one, oh, send me an email. And then the other one that say, I want to know everything.
Yes.
So for that person that wants to know everything from inside out, how nanoplasty was developed from the first days,
Yes.
because the Lorenzo and Floractive has a really similar story.
Yeah.
The main person that developed the formula passed away as well. But then he was a partner of the business. And then that was really a point where Floractive grew,
Yes.
you know. So we stopped being a small company to a global company, you know, so we have the formula now. We just need to make sure that the world knows
Yes.
about
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
you know. So
And that's in everything that you do, you know, because you would have had a pretty tough time dealing with that keratin straightening story
Situation.
because
Yeah,
I mean
explaining.
all the formaldehyde and
Yeah.
everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when that started as a trend.
Yes.
And then there were companies who were going, "But you got formaldehyde." No, you've got it. No, you've got it. And there was this whole he said, she said.
yes,
And then you come with something that's nothing like that.
Nothing.
But you still get caught with that. And that's a hard gig
yes,
to
Crack.
to it is.
To
It's
get out of
very
there.
hard to
Yeah.
get that mindset out.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
your consistency with, you know, how you've educated and how you've sort of shown up at festival and done training and obviously everything that you're doing and developing, you've really shown people that, you know, that's all old hat. You know, that
yes.
doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the new trend.
Yeah,
I guess it's sort of
Those new ways.
like it's maybe waves of colour. If you look at colour when colour first started, we had watercolour,
Yes.
like water rinses, you know, and then we went into semis, and then you know we went had permanent colour, and then we went into demis, and so you know who talks about doing water rinses anymore? Well, it's
Exactly.
gone. It's old technology. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit society.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you've got a product that actually fits society. It's made to make life easier.
Yeah.
And,
Short
I didn't
time.
know it. I didn't know it lasted for 8 months. I mean,
Yes,
that's
yes.
amazing. And you've
Yeah.
got the new. Have you launched? the
Yes,
other
I
shot?
had.
Yeah, the
The
new 15 minute.
15 minutes.
My
yeah,
God,
yeah.
isn't that awesome?
Yeah, and it all came from the desire to save time.
Yes.
You know, Jane, which is the founder of this company, she's the one that said, "Okay, I love the product, I love everything. I don't have 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, this is the product.
This is the
Oh,
product,
thank
yeah,
you.
which is so exciting. When
15
when
minutes.
you told me about that, I'm like 15 minutes. I mean, but look at that trending colour. So
Yes.
so colour's gone to 10 minute,
Yeah.
and you've gone to 15 minutes from an hour
Yes.
from an hour treatment. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What are people short of? Time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I guess
yeah.
in salons we have to look at how we can get the services done
Yeah.
in a shorter period of time, or keep them very amused while they're in the salon.
Exactly.
So it's better to do it in a shorter period of time.
Oh yeah. So
Yes.
15 minutes is like I don't have 3 hours and I need to have my hair straight.
Yes.
And we're gonna do my hair tonight.
Yeah,
as
we're
soon as we
doing it
finish here and
after
do
the
my hair,
podcast.
the
Oh,
15 minutes because it's so convenient. You know, you need literally 30 minutes to do this.
Yeah,
You know, it's incredible.
That's
You know,
amazing.
a service
And-
that will last.
And then
3,
what would
4
you
months.
charge for that?
We charge around $200,
Yep.
you know, $250 depending on the hair. So we would say that this will be a substitute for keratin, you know,
Yes.
for something that will be short life.
Short life,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because it's
So-
what, lasts about 3-4 months? something
Yes,
like
yeah.
that?
Independent head length, you know, they can
Yeah.
charge up to $350 for a long hair
Yeah.
for this treatment.
For a 30-minute service.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, yes.
So when I liken that, I go, you know, when people say, I don't do hair extensions, I go, why not?
Exactly. Why
And I
not?
go, why not? Because you can put in 30 minutes, $300, $400, $500 worth of hair. There you
Yes.
go. There you
Yes.
go. Thank you very much. That's a really profitable moment in the day. And that's a profitable moment in the day.
Yes.
And I think as an industry, we have to look at what products are we using, what's going to be profitable, how can I sort of meet that time frame that the
100%.
client is wanting.
And then also change their lives.
Yes,
And make their hair,
and make their hair so much
for them.
better.
And why are you
Yeah.
going to let them go with someone that doesn't have the education for it if you can serve that with that?
Yes,
You
exactly.
know, so I always feel in my head, I don't know if this is a mechanism, but in my head, there is no competition.
No.
There is no competition.
No.
Who is out there doing the best of what they could, getting education and providing the best time for the client with the best education, know exactly what they're doing?
Yeah.
If we look like that, there is
We
no
don't
competition.
worry about anyone
No.
else.
There is no
No.
competition.
No.
There is a very
I think-
minimal amount.
I think know your competitors, but do what you do well, and then you will be successful.
successful.
And I think we've always got competitors in media, and we have a plan, and we stick to our plan. And I think in any business that's got to create success.
Yes, exactly. And I feel, and every time I have a chance to talk to hairdressers about, that person is charging, and I say, look forward.
Yeah.
Don't look back. Don't look to the
Don't
sides.
look at anyone
Every
else.
moment,
Focus.
every second that you look
Yes.
to the side, it's a minute that you're wasting not looking to your business.
Yeah.
And obviously, in any business, you get tempted to see what they're doing
That's
or what
right.
they are doing and blah, blah, blah. And every time I do it, I'm like, okay, half an hour that I
Yes.
lost of looking to this, to look
Yes.
there or to look here.
Exactly.
So,
But
yeah.
when you focus, you're going to
Yeah.
go.
You will only go forward.
If you could give an advice to a hairdresser that are struggling now, or a brand that started and they don't know where to go, which way I take to make my brand a little bit more exposure, what would you say to this person?
I'd say just take some time out from your business, because sometimes when you're in a business, you are so focused within the business, you can't see the opportunities that are out there. And I think the best thing is to take a step away and to write down your goals. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Because I think a lot of times we go into business we have sort of ideas, but we don't really have very clear set goals.
Yes.
And I think if you're a salon, the first thing I suggest somebody to do is to step outside their salon door and look at your salon. What are you projecting as an image in your business? Is that the image that you want for your business? And if it isn't, then what are you going to do to make the changes? And write a list of things down. I would say to a salon, do you have a salon policy manual, like on how you want your staff to work? So if you go and work for anybody, they will say, right, we want you to greet people. I'm talking about outside the industry. We want you to greet people a certain way. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. And I think in a lot of salons, they don't have ideas and policies on how they want to create consistency. And we often hear a consumer go, I went to the salon the first time. Oh, it was wonderful. Second time, it wasn't as good. Why wasn't it as good? I wasn't treated the same. So if you have set kind of ideas and policies and create consistency, then you will be successful. And, for a brand, again, what do you want to be? And get them to sit down and really look at the opportunities. And I think sometimes when you launch products into the market, you've got great ideas. Oh, I'm going to be national. Well, let's just take a reality check here, because you can't be national because you've got to have a lot of money to be able to get enough product in to go national. So start small. Think about what you want to do and be really good at what you do in a small way, and then grow it gradually, grow it gradually, grow it gradually. And then you will cement yourself in the business as somebody that's there, that's consistent. Oh, they're growing. Oh, I need to look at them. And I think that's kind of the advice I would give for business. And you have to look at the visual of your business, like what is your branding? What do you look like? Are you consistent? So, if you do anything like in a print mag, or you do anything online, or if you do something on social, where's the consistency? Because what we have to remember with any form of branding, whether we're talking about a business, a person, a product line, or whatever, a consumer will start to recognize it because of consistency that you do around it. And it might be, the logo, but it might be a color you use that's very, very unique. It might be music or something that's associated. But the reason brands grow is because they're consistent in what they do and how they deliver it. So there's many components to that kind of question.
Yes.
But that's sort of the thing that I would suggest.
Let me tell a funny story. On our first year at the expo, at the hair festival, I said to Sarah, we've got the Wonderland event, that we would all like to go.
Yes.
But then on the first one, we didn't go. So the second one, Sarah said, regardless of you guys going or not, I am going. I really want to go to this event. And I say, okay, let's see how it's going to be you at the end of the event. At the end of the event, Sarah couldn't even walk. She's
My
like,
knees were shaking.
she was like, I can't even stand on my feet. And I say, you going to the event? She's like, I can't. So give us the advice. How can we go to Wonderland? We're wondering to go this year.
We want to go.
But we get smashed.
You do.
At the end, we're
Yes.
like, oh my goodness, I just need to put my feet up for a little.
Yeah, do you know, I'm the same. I mean, I'm smashed. I mean, before you guys come and build your stand, I'm there from
You're already
6
there.
a.m. already,
know.
bringing containers in and things like that. Like you, I get to Wonderland and at the end of the day, and I'm like, okay, I just have a shower, I regroup, I put the flattest shoes I can possibly put on, and you know what? It's the energy you get at Wonderland that's so exciting because people love to party. Our industry loves to party. They love to get together. They love to dance and carry on. And so it's have a shower, do put your feet up for a few minutes, flattest shoes, most comfortable outfit you could put on to still look gorgeous, and then go to the event, but maybe go at 7. So it starts at 7. Go at 7, and if you get to 9:30 and your feet are
lucky.
really hurting, then you go home. I mean, that's what I do.
It's a very important moment for networking, right?
Yes, it is. It's where
Girls, did you write the notes down?
Yes,
Yes.
right. We're going to Wonderland this year. Hey,
We're going this year. So
you
have a shower,
should
fashion.
because when you go to Wonderland, all sorts of wonderful things happen in Wonderland. I mean, we have so much fun, and we have like pop-up entertainment. And this year we're at a new venue, and oh my God, the venues escape my mind. Anyway, we're at a new venue, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful, and it has bars everywhere. So there's a bar outside.
So last year was that establishment.
No, last year was at the Campbell stores.
Ah, that's okay.
that's all right.
So we're going to this year's one?
We are. They make me pinky promise.
You have to go.
We have been.
Actually, I'll pinky promise you too. You have to.
Oh my God!
You have to
I'm
go
pinky
check
promise
out the
online
Princess
that I'm going to Wonderland.
Sam, you saw that.
Oh my God, I'm scared. Yeah, we've been avoiding because we're like, let's go.
We're so
But
tired.
at the end of the
You are
day,
tired,
because
yeah.
we're talking to so many people walking up and down on stage and blah, blah, blah. But I've been missing out a lot. I feel that we were in a bubble for all this year.
Yeah.
All these years we've been in a bubble on ours, we've
Yeah.
always been I feel that now is the time for us to out there,
Yeah.
show to others. So I want to be more part of events, more part of things in the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, look, that's it is great. It's great for networking, and you can kind of wear anything to Wonderland. I mean,
Great. We should do our pajamas, floor active pajamas.
Full active pajamas.
So we go straight from Wonderland to bed.
Yes. But the other beautiful thing is that festival doesn't start till 10 the next day.
Yes.
So if you even stay out until 10, I mean, honestly, our team, we have a few of the team members that have to stay until it finishes, and it finishes 11:30, 12.
Yeah.
But a lot of us just go for, the first couple of hours, and but
Wonderland is on the first and the second day or no?
no, it's on the first day,
On the first night.
the
Yeah.
first night, and you buy a ticket. I mean, and you get in there, and it's just food and drinks and entertainment and dancing.
Beautiful.
And it's great. It's great energy. It's just great energy, and everybody just literally lets loose. And I find it's quite amazing that people are there until really late,
Wow.
and then
It's
they
like, I
show
want
up the
their
next
energy.
day.
But I
Yeah.
feel that the hairdressers get to meet with people there.
They do.
You know?
They do.
That's the
Yes, a lot of
opportunity for you to
networking.
have a
Yeah.
more casual conversation than,
Yes.
yeah, the product does this, and that.
Yes,
You
yeah.
get to know them a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah,
intimate.
and this year the venue we've got is really it's really unique, and it's got lots of video screens all around it.
Oh.
So
We're going this year.
yeah,
We
So
are.
we'll have lots of video going, and brands can put video up,
Nice.
And,
Did you hear that, Jill?
Girl.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you know, there's lots and lots of opportunities, and we've got we've got a champagne alley, which is very unique.
Wow.
Bit of a secret.
Oh, secrets on our podcast. Love
fantastic, I
it.
know.
Oh, we love secrets on our
And then we
podcast.
have, look, we've got entertainment, we've got all sorts of different things. So within Festival Wonderland, there's always a quieter zone. So if you are tired, there is a quieter zone that has lounges that you can sit and relax, and the music level is a lot lower in that section, which we've always done. So at establishment, we always had the band at the back. So if you wanted to talk, you could be more at the front. Campbell's Stores last year, we actually had 4 different sections. So you could go from the party section to the more sort of chill. We called it chill zone, party zone, chill zone. So this year we have the same kind of scenario, but you go in and then if you want to dance your heart away
Oh,
all
definitely
night,
us.
yes, the band is fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you want to chill out, we've got the chill out zone, or you can just go sort of back out into the foyer area and sit around in there and chat. But most people just morph in and out the whole time.
What is the
it's-
theme this year? You already have one?
it's diamonds.
Diamonds.
So things silver and diamonds and all sorts of things. So it'll be
Oh my God, I
Sparkly
love
things.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we-
sparkle.
very sparkly, very sparkly.
That's
so,
great. I love it.
And we usually release about a month out. One of our social media girls goes and finds all of these outfits that are really
Yes.
cool.
Like
that
as
are
an
suggestion-
inspiration?
As an inspiration for what you can
Ah.
wear. So yeah.
Excellent.
Will
So
be like a 70s feeling?
I don't think we've
Glow?
gone to 70s. No, we did a disco. We did a disco one a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The last establishment I think was disco. The first year at the establishment, it was like Alice in Wonderland because we had big mushrooms and like
Was a
large
mask?
fish.
You
Yeah.
guys have 1 year was mask.
That was last year.
Yeah.
So that you could that was a more of a mask theme. The very first year we were at where all the ships are.
No, the marina.
I can't think. No, it's Maritime Museum.
Ah.
Yeah.
So we were actually indoor and outdoor, and we actually had food trucks that came and brought all the food in and
nice.
everything else. So every year we try and do something a little bit different. So we're there first. We had 2 years at Campbell's in the establishment bar. Last year was at Campbell's Stores, and this year is, and I still can't think of it. It's like I might pick my magazine up and I'll just
Yes,
see if
yes,
I can
yes.
find it.
Would be good to know because then this year get prepared outfit to go, guys.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I can't.
This year we're going.
We're being promised here in front of
We're gonna
everybody.
be
What we're gonna do now?
Yes.
I'm not gonna cut this part of the
Gotta
podcast.
find, yes. But it's a great part of the event.
Yeah.
And we don't do a hair show because nobody wants to see a hair show. They just want to go and party.
No,
No,
they
no,
want to
that's-
see
Yeah.
party, you know.
Yeah.
And definitely we're going this year. I think will be a good time to
It will be.
network.
Yes.
Perfect. Joe, I can't have words to say how I am happy to have you here. It was amazing to hear your story, to understand a little bit more about this person, you know, this powerhouse that you are for the industry, to see you growing and see how important you are for the industry today.
Oh.
Thank you so much for everything you added for this industry and for coming here to our podcast. It was really, really rich. Thank you so much.
I'm very, very grateful that you asked me, and I'm excited because I've sort of seen things about Flora Active today that I didn't know, and I just go, wow, this is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And just saying goodbye to everyone in the house right now. Thank you for watching us. Please share this podcast in all your medias because this is going to be very important for someone that is starting now a brand and a salon, for them to see how the market works and the industry is working right now. So thank you so much, Sarah and Joe, for the podcast. And
pleasure.
we see each other
Thanks for
on the
watching
next
us,
one.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye.